We're living in the middle of a World Heritage area, and I get to drive along the ridge in the morning and look out over the escarpment, which is something that every morning blows me away. It's close enough to Sydney that you can have all the great things that Sydney has to offer, and yet, the housing is much less expensive.
What I love about working in Lithgow is very quickly you become part of the community, so it's not all just about work. The work itself is fantastic. I have a really wide and varied scope of practice, much more than I imagine I would have in the city. I love that patients are incredibly loyal. In terms of lifestyle, what I love to do is outdoors. Right out of our house, our backyard, we've got a gate that opens up, and from there there's miles of trails to run and ride, so it's just magnificent.
Having the involvement in the local hospital meant that I could look after and follow my sicker patients. The fact that I can combine general practice with procedural medicine too just adds to the variety, and I think it helps me enjoy my general practice more because I'm also able to practice other skills in the hospital. Practicing obstetrics as well, I was able to look after patients antenatally, deliver their babies, and then look after their babies growing up.
There's something unique about Western Sydney in terms of healthcare. Everyone is so supportive of each other. There's no waiting around in terms of trying to get a hold of specialists and so forth. There is such a close-knit community in our healthcare sector.
As far as nursing goes, the PHM will often organise things for nurses to come together. So the support's great.
Everything's so close by enough for people to collaborate and work together, and I think we do that well.
There's quite a strong GP network up here. We're not in competition with each other. We run small group learning sessions together, so there's good collegiality between practices.
The kids are loving it here. We have a huge back garden. There are big parks. We can walk from our house to the national park and go to the creek and go swimming in summer. It's much more like a typical childhood, that I remember.
There's actually good options for schools up here. My kids have really benefited in terms of learning instruments. There's a lot of great music teachers up here. The older boys are also doing outdoor recreation as part of their schooling.
From a lifestyle point of view, I think it's amazing. So I love to hike and I love to bushwalk and do a bit of trail running. The sports scene here is amazing for the kids but also for the adults.
Any GP who has some interest in affecting social change beyond what happens with the patient directly in front of them, then the Blue Mountains is really somewhere where you can do something special.
It's a great community, it's full of life, a lot of different types of people live here. There's a lot of art scene, music scene, great restaurants. It's a fabulous place to live.